Hello and welcome to News Now. Thanks very much for joining us. 4 bodies have been recovered with 6 others hospitalized and 2 still missing as a helicopter carrying 12 people crashed into the lagoon behind Oronsoki police station in Nigeria's commercial city of Lagos. Rescue officials say 10 out of the 12 people on board have been accounted for and that the search still continues for the remaining 2. The 6 rescued persons who sustained severe injuries have been rushed to the nearby Bagada General Hospital for treatment. Now, the aircraft belonging to Bristol Helicopters was said to have been coming from the Niger Delta region of the country. Routes to the site of the crash had been cordoned off for effective rescue operation, and that is by, of course, by the rescue agencies like NEMA and, of course, the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency and the police. Let's now bring you some pictures now from the scene of that crash.
You tell me say you don't dare
The search and rescue will continue by the grace of God overnight because we have just deployed the special boat service and the air wing of Nigerian Navy, who are specialists, to continue the search, and we believe it will be concluded.
So far, how many people have been rescued? How many dead?
6 dead, and 6 rescued alive, 4 dead.
Where are those 6 that are rescued alive?
They are in the hospitals.
I was at the backyard, seeing the chopper, turning. The pilot struggled the chopper not to get a casualty on the floor. So he drove it down to the river. So I now come down. I cannot see it anymore because some houses are blocked already. So I come down, and then when I come down, I now take a bike, try and trace it, that maybe it's not on the ground, so we don't have any casualties. So when I get down here, so people told me that it's already on the water. So it's now to 5 minutes. We saw some 2 guys swimming out, one injured in his laps. So, and then he hold the second guy. So those 2 guys was rescued, rushing down to the nearby hospital, which Avolabi Hospital. So later, they recover 4 guys out live, and then later they now discover another 4 dead body. So right now they are still looking for 2.
We had a distress call at about past 3 today that an helicopter got crashed into the waters by this end of Oronsoki coming from Lagos. And immediately we activated all necessary responders, including the local divers, the police, the fire service, NEMA, LASEMA, and all those that are involved in the rescue operation. And I can tell you that at this hour, we are able to rescue 6 people. We are still awaiting the manifest, but we were told that there were 12 people on board, but that will be clarified in due course. And we had 4 dead bodies that have been taken to mainland General Hospital. And as I speak to you, there are plans and activities to ensure that the rescue operation continues. And until then, it is then the state government can make any official clarification.
The death toll from a bomb blast at a parked market in Borno State, northeast Nigeria, has been placed at 50. The figure was given by eyewitnesses present at the scene of the blast, which occurred at the Sabongari market in Damboa local government area of Borno State. Officials of the state are still to confirm the incident and release the death toll. The U.S. State Department strongly condemned what it said was a terrorist attack in Borno. While no individual or group has claimed responsibility for the attack, it took place in an area where hundreds of people have been killed in recent weeks by suspected members of the terrorist Boko Haram sect. Still on Boko Haram, Chadian President Idris Deby says the militant Islamist group now has a new leader. Deby did not say what had happened to Abubakar Shekau, but said he had been replaced by Muhammad Daoud, who has actually not been heard of before. Shekau has not featured in the group's recent videos. He was last heard from in March when he released an audio message pledging allegiance to the Islamic State group. Since then, he has not been seen or heard, prompting increased speculation whether he was alive or dead. Deby, whose troops have been involved with Nigerian soldiers in battling Boko Haram, said Daoud was open to dialogue. Shekau became Boko Haram leader following the killing of the group's founder, Mohammed Yusuf, in police custody in 2009. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has appointed 4 new group executive directors and cut its management staff. The appointments, which were approved by President Muhammadu Buhari, includes Maikanti Barao, who is now the Group Executive Director, Exploration and Production, Isiaka Abdul Razak as Group Executive Director of Finance and Services, Dennis Nnamdi Ajulu, Group Executive Director, Refining and Technology, and Dr. Babatunde Victor Adeniro, Group Executive Director, Commercial and Investment. A statement issued by NNPC spokesperson Ohi Alegwe said the new appointments are in line with the federal government's aspiration to transform the corporation into a lean, efficient, business-focused, transparent, and accountable national oil company. Last week, former ExxonMobil executive Emmanuel Ibe Kachiku was appointed as the new head of the NNPC. He dismissed all the company's executive directors the next day, following a directive from President Muhammadu Buhari. Nigeria's House of Representatives has summoned the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, to explain the recent policy directing commercial banks to reject foreign currency deposits. This followed the unanimous adoption of a motion sponsored by Emmanuel Ekon, representing Akwa Ibom PDP. Ekon said although the CBN Act of 2007 confers the bank with the power to devise suitable mechanism for the exchange of the naira periodically, Nigerians need to understand the merits of the policy. Last week, the CBN banned banks from taking foreign currency cash deposits in a bid to strengthen the country's currency, that's the naira. The ban is the latest in a series of controls to support the naira amid a more than 50% slump in the price of oil, responsible for about 90% of Nigeria's export earnings. Shell Petroleum Development Company has commended President Muhammadu Buhari for approving the long-delayed oil spill cleanup of Ogoni land. The oil company said the move for the cleanup of Ogoni land is a demonstration of leadership by President Buhari. A report released in August 2011 by the United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP, on its environmental assessment of Ogoni land had been neglected by previous administrations. However, earlier this month, President Buhari approved several actions to fast-track the long-delayed implementation of the UNEP report on, of course, the environmental restoration of Ogoni land. Shell, in a statement released after President Buhari's directive, reaffirmed its commitment to the implementation of the UNEP report. We'll take a break here, and News Now will be back shortly. Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on TV360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions. Welcome back. Oil prices steadied on Wednesday after an upbeat report from the IEA balanced the bearish impact of a further weakening of China's yuan currency. The yuan hit a 4-year low on Wednesday after China allowed it to weaken further after a mini devaluation on Tuesday to support the slowing Chinese economy, where industrial output grew less than expected in July. China is the world's biggest oil consumer after the United States, and a weaker yuan erodes Chinese purchasing power for dollar-denominated imports like oil, potentially heating fuel demand. However, while slowing demand from China has helped bring down oil prices at a time of oversupply by big producers in the Middle East, oil demand elsewhere is accelerating, the International Energy Agency said on Wednesday. Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni has criticized U.S. President Barack Obama over his remarks at the AU conference about African leaders' failure to respect presidential term limits and clinging to power for life. Museveni, in a joint news briefing with Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta at the State House in Kampala, said Obama and other Western leaders should respect the will of Africans who democratically elect their leaders. Last month, while speaking at the AU conference in Addis Ababa during his July visit to Ethiopia, Obama condemned African leaders who refused to step down from office after the expiration of their tenure. Museveni, who has been ruling Uganda since 1986, recently picked a form to contest in the country's 2016 polls as president. Italian rescuers on Wednesday said up to 50 migrants went missing after a large rubber boat sank in the Mediterranean Sea. This comes after more than 1,500 were picked up from other vessels in the past 24 hours. The Mediterranean has become the world's most deadly border zone for migrants. More than 2,000 migrants and refugees have died so far this year in attempts to reach Europe by boat, compared with 3,279 deaths during the whole of last year, the International Organization for Migration said last week. On Tuesday, Italy's Coast Guard said it coordinated the rescue of more than 1,000 migrants, many fleeing war zones and poverty in Africa and the Middle East, from 7 different vessels. People smugglers, mostly based in Libya, charge migrants thousands of dollars for passage. To sports now, head coach of the Nigerian under-23 national team, Samson Siasia, has invited 31 players to camp in preparation for next month's All-Africa Games in Brazzaville, Congo. The list is made up of mostly players who helped the nation qualify for the CAF Under-23 African Cup of Nations, which will hold in Senegal later this year. The players are expected to report to the camp in Abuja today. They will face Ghana, Senegal and Egypt in Group B of the men's football tournament of the 11th All-Africa Games scheduled for Brazzaville from September, the 3rd to the 18th. Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez and Cristiano Ronaldo have all been announced as the final nominees for the UEFA Best Player in Europe award. European football governing body UEFA earlier last month created a list of 10 players comprising the trio along with Neymar, 5 Juventus players and Chelsea's Belgian winger Eden Hazard to receive the award. With only the 3 stars remaining, their fates will now be decided by a jury during the 2015-2016 Champions League group stage draw. The award was created in 2011 by UEFA to replace the Ballon d'Or award, which was merged with FIFA World Player of the Year award. Fortunately, Neymar is not there. He's my favorite, actually. I believe he is the best player in the world at the moment. Of course, Messi is very good, but I just love the way Neymar plays. Unfortunately, he didn't make the shortlist. That's it on News Now. Well, thank you very much for watching. Continue to stay tuned to TV360 for more programming coming your way.